Good morning, everybody. How's it going? I don't know if the video about how pretty the leaves are today. They're like this close to me right now. Anyway, good morning. Happy Friday. It's around 7:40 a.m. here in San Antonio, Texas. How y'all doing? Anything new? That's so nice to hear. Just kidding. Well, nothing new over here. I was thinking, like, should I even make a video? But I I guess you can call it anxiety. I don't know, but just kind of go over in my head, oscillate back and forth. This kind of I don't have anything to say. I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't do my required reading of Title 18 of the United States Code, Crimes and Criminal Procedure. All of my research is right where I left it. Status quo. I think Jesse's gonna come be outside in a little bit. So yeah, I'm just going back and forth in my head. So, well, I really don't have much to say. I don't want to waste y'all's time. Being here for 5 years minimum. Okay, we can go beyond that, but I'm gonna just stick with these 5 years for now. And I really don't want to waste y'all's time. I see the value in respecting other people's time. Okay, put that on my resume. Those are skills. But alas, here we are. I decided, maybe just even though I don't really have topics of conversation, maybe just saying hello, how y'all doing, is outweighed in my mind. I don't really have anything to say. So hello, how y'all doing? Another day, another dollar, another week. Happy Friday. You see I have my Christmas cup here. Isn't it funny? It's a cactus. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. It's a cactus. Right now, the weather, I don't know. I think I'm becoming acclimated to the weather. I don't know. It seems like it's a lot colder than it kind of is out here, or maybe I just have appropriate clothing. Weather appropriate clothing, which is a sweatpants and a t-shirt. Obviously this jacket, you'll see it on the cover photos, and it's just kind of I'm looking at it right now in this video right here, this one, and it looks brown, at least in this color, right, that I see. But when I look at it with like this, it's green, like an olive green and khaki green. So I don't know. My mom and I are like, we don't know what color this jacket is. Brown or green, one of the two. Anyway, it's really comfortable. It's really lightweight. That's why I like it. You know me, I prioritize comfort, and this, I kind of like the way this button looks. There. No? Black and brown. Anyway. If you don't like my jacket, you probably wouldn't be the first person to comment on my fashion. Anyway. Yeah, it's a bit colder weather. I see in Washington, D.C. that it's snowing. Obviously gotten colder. Over in Washington, D.C., the capital. I wonder how the ballroom's going. So am I going to get invited? Should I respectfully decline the invitation? I think it's funny, in case you didn't know, because like, here I am, right? 9107, formerly known in ISD School as Route, just in these past 5 years. And, you know, this, these people, it's a, what that I've dealt with. I've lived my entire life, and I would say most people do not have certain characteristics and attributes um, as that I've seen highlighted in these past 5 years in my lived experience. These people, though, they get to, I have to stay here at 9107? Okay. Thanks for rejecting me and keeping me here at 9107 is one way to put it. So I'm going to respectfully decline your invitation that they didn't give, and then they're going to be like, feel rejected about it. These people. Ridiculous. Should I say insecure? I think maybe that's a better word to describe what's happening. Anyway, yeah, I don't know how the ballroom's going. I saw like an aerial view, and I was like, wow, it's going to be a really big ballroom. And I'm really surprised at the little amount of pushback. I mean actual pushback, not just like the pushback of, oh, well, ballroom, that's going to be gold. I said, thanks a lot. You might as well just send out your invited invitation with that kind of pushback. Really helping me out a lot here. At Washington, D.C., you could say all this stuff about the National Guard. They even had that argument right out there, right, with the National Guard. You can say all these dignitaries, well, why can't they go to somewhere in Washington, D.C.? All the time here in San Antonio, it's buy local, support local, or this and that, and everybody understands that. I did not see not one pushback argument that was like, well, if people want to stay there and host all this stuff, well, why can't they stay at this nice hotel that somebody owns and has built in Washington, D.C.? Why can't they use that ballroom or convention center in Washington, D.C. or whatever? I did not see not one pushback argument like that. But anyway, I saw an aerial picture of the ballroom. I said, wow, it looks like it's going to be really big. I'm wondering, like, a lot of schmoozing, I guess, is expected. I don't know. I'm thinking, like, the usefulness of it, I guess. Maybe we could just call it an event center. Maybe that'll be better promoting PR for all the pushback. Look at this gold event center. Caroline Levitt, write that down. Anyway, what else is new? The clouds look really nice right now. Is it nice? The winter clouds, I don't know. Anyway, my mom has an early appointment, so at some point in time I'm going to pause this video. Unless, of course, I finish it before then. Her appointment's at 8:30. Anyway, so for me here at 9107, this next week is planned. Okay, this next week is, you have the weekend. We're going to get Golden Walk on Saturday. That's the plan. Tracy got to choose the restaurant because she's going to be in Florida. I always forget which one's which. There's a Disneyland and a Disney World. One's in Florida, one's in California. But she's going to go there and for her every other annually Disney trip. From her Michael salary. You know, in case you're wondering, like with my mom and my two sisters, Kimmy and Tracy, and uh, uh, several of my aunts and uncles. I would have absolutely zero problems. I said, well, have I made money? I would have absolutely zero problems with helping with the finances. Being here that would absolutely 100% not be an issue. But I just again, I like to bring things to attention. Oh, here's just 1 second. She's getting ready in the car. 1 second. She's got her Christmas lights on the car. She blew me a kiss. Anyway. Yeah, what was I saying? I would have absolutely zero problems. She's silly. We just be silly sometimes. It's really nice. One of the perks of this situation. But anyway, like I was saying, I would not have any problems with that whatsoever. Obviously. But you know, it is a learning experience, and here we are. This kind of being rejected in society. I did not get my welcome to society pass. Rejected. Anyway, I would not have any problems with that. Tracy said, she said, what do you want as a Christmas gift? I said, I asked her, don't give me anything from there. I don't want anything from, what do you call it, souvenir from Disneyland or Disney World, one of the two. I said, you should just spend your money on yourself. But, you know, one of the reasons is because, one, I asked her to get me a cell phone case instead. And two, the food there looks really fun to try. She last time she was there, I think was 2 years ago, and she would send us pictures of like all the food she tried. And I was like, oh my god, that food looks so good. I would definitely try that. But it's not like she can buy it and take it home, you know. So I said, just spend the money on yourself. What I want from there is really just the food. The cell phone case is fine. Anyway, so this coming week, after the weekend, is going to be, Tracy's going to be gone from the house, which means in this household, it's going to just be me and my mom, which is fine. I get to not share a bathroom, so that's great. My own schedule. So my mom has this back procedure thing. So you know, it's like I said, it's a procedure. It's not something like really big and debilitating. It's a procedure to be the opposite of debilitating. So quick recovery, not really much going on. Another week planned, which has been planned for a while. Here we are. I was like, you know what if I'm not here, rejected, stuck at 9107? What if? But no. Seems like I am. No paycheck, no interview, no nothing. Anyway, y'all already know. Joe Rogan, does he have an exclusive Spotify deal? I think when he got that deal in 2020, multi-million dollar, it was an exclusive Spotify deal. I guess exclusive along with YouTube. I don't know. I don't watch his podcast. I used to. I don't anymore. So, ooh, you are really not how you projected yourself to be, in my opinion. Therefore, I will not be spending my time listening to your podcast. Anyway, uh, yeah. Okay, point made. Check. Next. On to the next issue that I have absolutely not planned at all. Uh, what else? Okay, so this was going on with me. I've been seeing on the news, not much going on the news. I see a lot of talk about this uh, narco terrorists, if they even if they even exist. I thought that was a funny argument. So they're fishermen. They're not narco terrorists, they're fishermen. But that was not in his explanation of narco terrorists that don't even exist. Or something like that. I was expecting him to, while he was, I forget who it was, it was some point in time this past week on some news channels that I watch. But anyway, somebody's arguing against the strikes, I think is what people are calling them, is there's no such thing as narco-terrorists. And that was his explanation. Okay, I took that information, there's no such thing as narco-terrorists. And I'm feeling very unsatisfied with it. They're fishermen. The United States military went on a very public campaign, right? Which is interesting. On Twitter, presently known as X, now known as X, is I follow several people. Sometimes I don't keep up on it, but anyway, I follow several accounts, and one of them is intentionally so, is like a military, I say journal, but I mean like a scholastic journal. It just sounds, I guess it's just a military, I don't know, like the Wall Street Journal, I guess, just like a military centered journalism reporting. Stars and Stripes, I think is what it's called. And yeah, that's really like the only one. And I didn't really know about it. I guess maybe it was algorithms or something. I know on the Twitter, now known as X, you follow an account and then several other accounts pop up. Well, I guess on other social apps too. Kind of like Pandora. I don't know if you youngins know about Pandora. It's all about Spotify. My mom uses Pandora. She used to pay for it. I don't know if she does anymore. Maybe she didn't. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. I don't know. She used to use it a lot. But anyway. Oh yeah, the strikes. So one of the arguments against the strikes, and from what I've seen, again, it seems a party divide, right? The Republican Party seems in support of it, and the Democrat Party seems to be not in support of it. I haven't been watching much independent, short for independent, news, indie journalism, alternative journalism, and to let you know those arguments. But yeah, the one I've seen against it was, one, there's no such thing as a narco-terrorist, and I had my questions on that one. Two, it was Recently, one of them that I think happened in September. Um, I think, don't quote me on it, I think there's been like 16 or 18 strikes. So I'm not sure which number strike it was. There's something that people have been referring to as a double tap. Um, here I am at 9107, and, you know, uh, uh, I wish I knew, had access and knew a lot more about all of this stuff. It just seems to me, one, it's a very public, uh, I hate to say PR campaign, but I am going to kind of emphasize that because of psychology. Okay. Strategy. Okay. Very military provided public PR campaign of these strikes involving a narco terrorist. But if there's no such thing as a narco terrorist involving fishermen, there was no alternative offered. So, I guess what I'm getting at is what I'm thinking in my head here at 9107 is this concept of a double tap. I keep hearing it: double tap, double tap, double tap, and apparently it's like a war crime. Which, again, I would love to read all about it. I went to a side note, but not really side note. I went to this half price bookstore. It was, if you're in San Antonio, it was the one over by North Star Mall and Office Depot. I think it was, Office Depot. It might have changed. But there's like a Best Buy and a DSW over there. I think from the highway, which is 410, which is by North Star Mall, there's like a Perfect 10 right there. You can see the sign really well. And a PetSmart, I think. But anyway, in that little shopping center, I forget what the shopping center is called. I think they just built an Olive Garden over there too. I like Olive Garden. Anyway, there was this military book, and it was like really informative, and I wanted to get it. At being at half price, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get this book. It was $50, and that was at half price. Half price, usually you get a really good deal on books. And if you didn't know, I actually found a better deal. It's this Free Little Libraries that you probably see. They might be outside of a business establishment, but a lot of the times they're just like in the neighborhood. We have several Free Little Libraries here in this neighborhood. There's one like across the street, but it's like a book exchange, so it's even cheaper technically than half price. But anyway. And I think it's cool because, I don't know, I'm trying not to be a hoarder, and sometimes I get a book that I really like and I want to keep it, and I'm like, why am I just keeping this book so nobody can read it? And so it's kind of a good practice for that. But anyway, as far as military strategy goes, back on topic, is this concept of the double tap. I'm sure I'm not saying I'm gonna be like there's the narco terrorist doesn't exist. I'm gonna just wondering in my mind, this double tap, I just keep hearing it over and over and over again. And I think sometimes when people are in the military, and not just in the military, but obviously we're talking about the military, and there's a lot of things that maybe isn't common knowledge, right, to I guess other people, but I'm just wondering, double tap, and I guess that seems to be what I've seen the only argument against these, that's the one that they're putting up first, is this one of the earlier strikes. There was a double tap, and apparently it's a human rights abuse, I think, because it's a war crime, I think. If I listened correctly to people's arguments. So I'm just wondering, what is the double tap, and I guess in theory, and I guess in practicality, in practice. what situations should be present, should not be present, for that to be considered the parameters of what is going on. So yeah, just the double tap, and then what I'm wondering, if you want my argument for that, as far as all, um, uh, military is the military, and very public campaign, like I said, and uh, uh, I think it's interesting how there's not much of a deterrent, right? Um, One second. Sorry about that. I had to wipe my nose. I didn't want to do that on camera. Anyway, I noticed there's not much of a deterrent, right? So these boats just keep on going and coming, stuff like that. Um, so you would think that there might be a better way to do that, seeing as you can see the result of what happens when you're a fisherman, deep sea fishing, I guess. I don't know. So, one, I'm surprised that these strikes haven't deterred people. Two is the public campaign, a public PR campaign of them, I think is kind of not the average and usual. Three, I've seen a lot of focus on the news about it, so that's what I have to say about it. Yeah, and I think that, what was it, yesterday? The person or admiral who did those strikes was present at, was it on Capitol Hill, and several senators, both Democrat and Republican, saw the footage, and I heard this morning that maybe it was made public, the footage, because they don't show the double tap footage on the news. I don't think that part was made public and unclassified. But I think after it was shown to, and I might be wrong, I might have heard it wrong. I was just like, what? They're showing it? What? It's available? What? But I think after it got showed to certain Congress people of both parties, I don't know, it might have been some sort of committee, I don't know. It was a closed-door committee, but after that, I think it might be made public, the footage of the double tap. But yeah, I just think it's interesting. Somebody noted it's usually the Coast Guard that does this stuff, not the military. So on and so forth. But yeah. Oh, I saw they're blaming a lot on Pete Hegseth. He was kind of the focus and at the brunt end of all that. Specifically, this quote where he said something like, "You follow orders, you don't question them," or something like that. And I think military, again, I think this kind of a different life and a different way of looking at things, obviously so. You're out and about here. Usually, you're in a normal and decent society, and that's how you think and how you operate. But kind of when you're military, it's kind of like always a defensive type situation and mindset. So this, I think there's different ways of interpreting what he said with this You follow orders, you don't question them. I think the person on the news was like, he should get these people in a room and listen to their opinions. I was like, well, in my head, I was thinking like, um, I think maybe you've interpreted the situation wrong, sir. I think it's probably when you're in the military, you trust that whoever happens to be in the room is 100% qualified for their job, unless you believe to be otherwise. And so when an order is given, one could say that the opinion is also given. You know? And this not questioning it is more of a sign of respect than not. So yeah. I think it's all really cool. They say bow strikes at death, Michelle. You know what? I'm like 40, okay? You're gonna be talking to me all like that. Trying to plead at my heartstrings. It's not gonna work. Okay? Oh my god, I feel so sorry for you. Not really. Life has hardened me. Okay? Are they gonna blame that on my schizophrenia? Anyway, yeah, I'm just but if you're not one of those people to be like this is your fault, but if you just happen to be like bringing up these arguments, you know, I've you know, I'm more conservative now, and one of the main reasons I'm more conservative now is this kind of defense kind of a situation, and I would say obviously so, right? I'm just a lot more defense oriented, if that makes sense, um, for lots of reasons too. And you know, yeah, my bleeding heartstring would be, I don't know why they keep doing that. I think they had the closed door where the Congress people reviewed the footage, and then even that same day, which I think was yesterday, there was another boat. It had been kind of a lull. There was no fishermen heading towards the United States or something. And but yesterday, after a week of a lot of this commotion of the double tap, there was another boat strike. So boat strike. So I would just be like, you know, maybe that's not a good idea to do that. Maybe. But anyway, yeah, that's what I gotta say about it. Another weekend here, another week here. Unfortunately, even though I was so hopeful that I wouldn't be here. Yeah, it is what it is. So, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee, see if I have anything to think. I got 4 more minutes, 1 second. The pockets in this jacket are vertical and not at a slant. You know how most pockets have a slant? They're like correctly aligned instead of at a slant. Anyway, you know, I guess I don't have much else to say. But, you know, another week. I hope you had a good week. I'm gonna try to be productive today. I started doing all my paintings, Christmas paintings. I'm going through a skull series, and that's just where I'm at right now. Um, and hopefully I have Kimmy and Tracy and my mom's painting, Christmas present painting done by the 25th if I'm still here. But a lot of good indicators, I would say, if you're wondering. A lot of overcompensation, which I would say is a good indicator. A lot of insecurity, which again I would say is a good indicator. It's not pleasant to deal with, but I've been doing this 5 years now, so roundabout. Oh, I saw they arrested the J6 pipe bomber. So that's good. I think it was 2 pipe bombs. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to do so. This is a conversation. Okay? It's a conversation. I think there's 2 bombs planted, but I could be wrong. None of them went off, thank goodness. And that was they call it the J6 pipe bomber, but which I think is interesting. I think they were planted the eve of January 6th, the night of January 5th. I think is where there's if you were British, you would call it CCTV footage. I think is what they do, at least on the TV shows they do. There's just footage of on January 5th. I think at like 8:15 p.m. Anyway, wearing a hoodie, a light gray hoodie, and I think jeans, sneakers. 5'7", so it could be male, could be female. That's what I know. I know they arrested him, and there's probably a name and everything, but like I said, I just have not been looking further into things this week, so my due diligence. But anyway, like I said, I'm getting on my Christmas present paintings for my family, and I've been reading fiction, which is nice. Anyway, I might post on my Instagram which book or whatever. So anyway, yeah, I guess it's almost time that my 38-minute video. So yeah, hope you have a good week. Hope you have a good weekend. I'm planning to be here another week, unfortunately. But I can't wait to not be. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Talk to you later.